Like, this is where you live, and someone comes and robs you like that. It's hard to get past it.
Now at 11, robbed feet from her front door. How a grandmother became a thief's target in Gresham. Plus, not up to Salem standards. The city considers taking over its private ambulance services. And later, pausing toll plans. Why Oregon's governor wants to pull the plug on tolls for metro freeways. Good evening, I'm Tim Gordon, and we start with breaking news tonight of a crash on I-5 that's north of Kalama. WashDOT is sharing this photo of the crash at milepost 35.8 near Owl Creek. Right now, all lanes on northbound I-5 in that area are blocked off. We're working to find out how many vehicles are involved and if anyone was hurt in that crash. WashDOT warns drivers to expect long delays and use an alternate route. So this is a developing story, and we'll update you when we get more information. Again, a crash on I-5 northbound between Kalama and Kelso. Now to a shocking robbery in Gresham. A grandmother withdrew money from an ATM and drove 5 minutes back home. That's where a family says she was robbed by a woman who followed her home from the bank. And there is video to back that up. Thomas Schultz breaks down what happened.
Minutes after Cheetah Nix arrived home after visiting the ATM, Ring video shows a woman walk up Nix's driveway and tell her she dropped something blocks away back at the ATM machine on Northeast 181st Avenue. Then suddenly, as the woman walks away, she opens Nix's car door, stealing her purse.
Oh, I'm shaking.
Swiping $500, insurance cards, and a gold bracelet Nix's mother gave her.
I cannot get out of the house. I'm scared.
And Nix says after the Friday robbery, she didn't sleep for days.
Nightmare too. I couldn't sleep for 2 days.
And her daughter can't believe something like this would happen on their quiet street in Gresham.
These people literally just came to our house and we have to replace everything.
And now, Jen Sudavong is determined to find the woman and getaway driver who robbed her mother.
We've learned that this is called bank jugging, where people hang out at banks and they target people that are taking money out of the ATMs or coming out of the banks, and they just follow them to rob them.
After posting the incident online, Sudavong says others in Gresham told her they've had similar issues.
Knowing like this is where you live, and someone comes and robs you like that, it's hard to get past it,
Leaving her worried this could happen again.
That was Thomas Schultz reporting on that scary situation. We asked Gresham Police for information on their investigation. We haven't heard back yet. Now to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, we're learning more about the avalanche forecaster killed in a snowslide in eastern Oregon last week. His name was Nick Burks. The Baker County Sheriff's Office says this happened last Wednesday near Anthony Lakes Mountain Resort. That's where Burks and his friend were backcountry skiing. An investigation found the friend skied down first and was watching Burks make his way down when the avalanche happened. A group of people who were staying at the lodge nearby saw this and called for help. They also ran to Burks and started CPR, but he didn't make it. His friend was not injured. 2 people are dead in what Scappoose police are calling a double homicide. Details are limited now, but we know it happened just before 10 o'clock last night on Southwest Linden and Sequoia. The only thing we know about the victims is that they were killed with a weapon. We also know the suspect is in custody. We'll share any new information about this story just as soon as we get it. And 2 people are now confirmed dead after a small plane crashed last night in Central Oregon. The plane, a Piper PA-32, took off from Aurora Airport in Marion County and was headed to Idaho. Then just after 7:30, it clipped a wire above a Bonneville power transmission line about 5 miles southeast of Madras and crashed into the ground. The Jefferson County Sheriff said the pilot and passenger died in that crash. Their names have not been released. The plane is registered to an owner out of Caldwell, Idaho. Well, the city of Salem is considering cutting ties with the private ambulance company providing services in the city and instead doing the job themselves. Catherine Cook is here with why supporters of the idea say it would work better for them. Catherine?
Well, Tim, they say bringing ambulance services in-house would not only save the city money, it would likely improve service reliability. They base that in part on the millions in overtime they've been paying firefighters. Money used to supplement ambulance services from a private company they say hasn't been meeting standards. For the last 9 years, the city of Salem has been contracting with private ambulance company Falk. Their contract ends in July of 2025. When that happens, the city is thinking about turning over all ambulance services to the Salem Fire Department, replacing Falk.
Quite frankly, it's not working.
Fire Chief Mike Niblock gave 2 reasons Monday night. First, he said Falk hasn't been meeting response standards. He also summarized why it makes financial sense for the city to take over ambulance services as a source of revenue.
Operating costs for the system about $10 million a year. We're going to have $12 million in revenue plus the GEMT, so $17 million in revenue.
GEMT stands for the Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Services Program. Back in 2016, lawmakers passed a bill allowing the program, which lets government agencies recoup some of the ambulance billing limits Medicare sets for its patients.
And for us, for last year's numbers, that's $4.3 million in revenue that we're leaving on the table.
But the department says their motives are not all financial. Niblock explained that over the last 2.5 years, Falk has struggled to meet their weekly 1,030-hour service obligation. A recent study commissioned by the fire department showed in recent weeks, Falk has only managed around 600 hours. So in 2021, Salem Fire began staffing up 2 of their own ambulances to help meet the city's need. This year, they say that'll cost $2.2 million. For the firefighters union, that's frustrating.
Falk Ambulance has been subsidizing their business on the backs of my members with your money for 27 months. Enough is enough.
For its part, Falk says they only learned about the city's recommendation to move ambulance services in-house last week.
We simply want to be able to compete for the right to be your partner next year and are open to discussing system design changes, but we have to be included. This report was not shared with us and was not a collaborative effort. It has been rushed to council without proper vetting.
And in the end, Salem City Council agreed that they would need more time to consider the ambulance services proposal. They tabled the discussion until March 25th, at which time they'll likely vote on it. Tim, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. Well, today, Portland and Multnomah County leaders set an ambitious goal to move half of all homeless people off the streets by the end of next year. The plan also includes opening 1,000 more shelter beds, hundreds more behavioral health beds, and building more affordable housing. Also, according to the plan, in 2 years, people will no longer be discharged to the streets after leaving jail or the hospital.
You might be listening to this and thinking that this plan is ambitious. Yes, it is. It will be hard, we will make mistakes, and we will learn from them. We will keep trying and working together
to reduce unsheltered homelessness by 50% by the end of 2025. That is what Portlanders will now expect from us, and that is what we will deliver.
Well, the county and the city are looking to hear community feedback before finalizing this plan by the end of next month. Another meeting about all this is scheduled for tomorrow. Well, a heads up if you're planning to take the Max Red Line to or from the Portland Airport tomorrow. TriMet says trains will not be running, to the PDX station because they need to close the track there for repairs. Inspectors discovered a hairline fracture in the track at a street crossing between PDX and the Mount Hood Avenue station. Shuttle buses will run from Mount Hood Avenue to the airport terminal, but do expect delays. Well, this is KGW News at 11. Still ahead, changes to the National Weather Service's warning system, how it hopes to keep people dialed in on the forecast. Plus, we're talking about the future of tolling on Portland area freeways and what has Governor Kotek calling to cancel the plan.
I'm Matt Safino. We've got snow in the mountains still. We got strong showers pushing on through the valley. But you know what else we have? A warm-up, a big warm-up, the likes of which we haven't seen really since last summer. How warm it will get this weekend in just a bit.